Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dramatology podcast. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. I know I am. And so, in this episode, I'm going to be doing two reviews actually, because there's a new drama that has aired that has caught my attention, and I want to talk about it. But I also want to talk about ABO Desire. ABO Desire is a drama that, if you've been following my podcast, you know I've been covering this back to back. Not intentionally, but just because it's so much fun and I love it and I can't stop talking about it. And so I'm going to continue with my review of ABO Desire. But I also want to talk about this new horror BL that just came out in Thailand called Khemjira, because oh my god, it deserves to be talked about. So those are the two dramas I'm talking about in this episode. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first drama, like I mentioned, is ABO Desire. A lot has happened in the last two episodes that I want to talk about, mainly Hua Yong and what he's doing to this poor alpha. Like, I actually feel bad for Xiao because this Hua Yong is not a joke. Like, before I was like, okay, there's nothing to even defend. We all know he's a black flag. Is problematic, right? It's almost impossible to even try and defend him because we all just agree that he's terrible. That said, I'm scared of him. Like, he's actually really terrifying. It's like giving what he's doing to Sheng Xiaoyu, right? It's actually really terrifying if you think about it, because he's changing that boy's constitution and it's freaky. But I am going too far in. Let me really back a bit and start with the beginning of episode 6. Wayang is still in the hotel pretending to have been kidnapped and the private investigator is able to find Hua Yong, right? Conveniently, he's able to find Hua Yong. It's not like Hua Yong had anything to do with it. He just like was able to somehow follow Shen Wenlang easily and find Hua Yong, right? And it's very funny because when the private investigator goes into the ocean, he's like, "I'm here to save you" and everything. That's the moment where Hua Yong is like facing the windows and you see him smirk. You see in his reflection that he's smirking before he turns back and starts like putting on all the acting. My guy is an actor. He deserves an Oscar at this point. Like, he's acting weak. He's acting like someone has attacked him. And I have to say, I feel bad for Shyamalan because everybody thinks he's the one that is like doing this to Hwa Young, right? And it's just funny because he's like taking hits because of this, right? But I just have to say, Hwa Young is an actor. Like, he just puts on this front and he acts so scared, acts like he's fragile, acts like an omega, and it's just hilarious to me. And so yeah, like, Hwa Young is saved, quote and unquote, right, by the private investigator and taken to Sheng Xiaoyu, and that's where he really like puts on the acting. He really like acting weak and damsel in distress. This boy is not okay. Like, actually, he's like not okay. And honestly, I was fine with it to an extent because he was hilarious and it still is. But after the end of episode 7, and I see that Hwa Young has been like inducing Shenshayu's rot, right? And he's basically like forcing his body to have this biological change, right? I feel really bad for Shenshayu watching him go through this and not understand why he's like losing control over his body, right? That's the part that like really really scares me and it makes me feel bad, because as much as I like how evil and devious Hwa Young is, it's like oh my god, like, I never thought I would feel bad for an alpha, but this shit is making me feel bad for an alpha. Like, usually Gautu is the only one I like, like have this compassion for, but like the way Hwa Young is like changing Sheng Xiaoyu's constitution without him knowing is just so devious. It's just like it's the worst thing, it's the most manipulative thing ever, right? And it's actually really really sad, right? Especially because Sheng Xiaoyu really really likes Hua Young and he just thinks like, oh, this is just like my little omega and everything, blah blah blah. And literally this guy is about to give him a whole new reproductive system. So like, actually I feel bad for him, like, genuinely. But at the same time, oh my god, Hwa Young, I can't even like hate. Like I said, I can't hate because this is levels. Like, there are levels to this thing, and Hwa Young is in a different level that I've never seen. Usually like when you have characters, to an extent they will struggle with this like dilemma of doing terrible things. Even like Vegas from King Porsche has some dilemma about how he's treating Pete, right? But this one is out of the world. And I mean, granted, this is not on the level of like Kim Porsche, because that one does involve physical torture. But this is still like, you're still like changing someone's physical like constitution, and the person doesn't know, right? Like, I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, I'm like, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, at the end of episode 7, I saw Sheng Xiaoyu struggling in the conference room. I actually felt bad. Like, and it's funny because Hua Yong is actually insane. Like, he's actually insane. Like, he's so obsessed with Sheng Xiaoyu. This is why you should not be nice to people when you're young. They might not be an enigma. Always going to try and like change your whole constitution, right? Like, literally, this is why you should not be nice to people, because it was just one nice act that's causing causing all of this for Sheng Xiaoyu, right? But literally, like, Hua Yong is so in love with him and obsessed with him that he's willing to do anything to have this person, right? And I don't know, I feel like in a different scenario, if he had just approached Sheng Xiaoyu as an enigma, wasn't there a chance that Sheng Xiaoyu would accept it? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe, because I mean, at the beginning, Sheng Xiaoyu was very like alpha, like he had an alpha-ness to him, but as time goes on, you've seen him change. So I don't know if he would have been convincible at the beginning if, that was how they met, right? But yeah, like, ugh, I feel so bad. And back to Shen Lang. Shen Lang is actually the funniest, and his relationship with Hua Yong is hilarious. Tumblr keeps calling them worsties, and I like that it's a play on besties, but in this case they are literally like frenemies. And I just I find it so unfortunate that like he's the one that has to take all the beating from Sheng Xiaoyu because of Hua Yong's like acting and pretense, right? And it's actually the funniest thing because he's so done with the two of them. He's like, they should lock themselves up in a room and just like don't bother anybody else. But like, literally, it's the funniest thing watching the relationship between Hua Yong and Shen Lai, because you can tell they have some like affection for one another, but like also not really because they're just both businessmen slash overprivileged people, and it's like just hilarious, right? And Shyamalan just has the best expressions for everything. Honestly, he seems frustrated 24/7. He seems exasperated every time, right? He just seems done every time, except when he's with Galto, of course. But yeah, it's just funny to see how he's taking so many beatings because of this, and how Hua Young think it's the funniest and the cutest thing, that oh my god, my baby is hitting you, and that is the cutest thing ever. And it's like, bruh. So yeah, I think that they're actually super cute, right? Now to talk about Shemalang and Gaotu, I feel like you saw a little bit more of them this last 2 episodes. Still not a lot, but just a little bit, right? Shemalang comes and sees Gaotu after he's been beat. Right, in episode 6, right? And for a second there, it seemed like they could have a conversation, because I feel like we've never seen them really be friends. We've only seen their dynamic as worker and employer kind of, relationship. And so this was the episode where we saw just a glimpse of it before, of course, Shemalang lost his mind and started yapping about how, because again, Shemalang is a jealous person that does not know he's jealous, right? And so the minute that Gato brings up Hua Yong, because again, Gato thinks that Shen Lang likes Hua Yong, and they both think that the other person likes Hua Yong, right? And it's just hilarious because the minute Gato asks about Hua Yong, Shen Lang loses his mind, and he's like, "Why, you like him?" It's funny because episode 7, that's the same thing. He asks if Gato likes Shen Xiaoyu's sense, which is why he's like, reacting to it. And it's the funniest thing. He's like almost blind that he can't see how much Gaotu cares for him and, likes him. Because I mean, there's a scene where after they had the fight in episode 7, Gaotu is putting like some medicine on his like lips and everything because it's swollen, and Gaotu is obviously like lost struck. He likes this person, so I guess he had a moment there, and Shemang is like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" I was like, "Oh my god, can you like be quiet for once? Like, just like sit and take in the moment." But like, it's almost like he can't help himself, and it's the funniest thing, but also like really sad, because I feel like if Shyamalan could just keep his mouth shut, a lot of things would just work out. Or maybe not. I don't know. Gauti is also really secretive and quiet, but yeah, his mouth is not helping anyways, right? But still, like he cares about like Gauti clearly, right? He fixes the lights in his area. There are a lot of things that show that like Shyamalan cares, but still he's still haughty. Like at this point, he still has an attitude, right? And that has to like I'm waiting to see how that is gonna be brought. Like he's gonna be brought down, right? And humbled basically. I wanna see him grovel. I actually wanna see him grovel like he needs to because currently he's just so annoying and irritating and honestly while I understand why Gato likes him, yeah, he's kind of difficult. He's a difficult person just because he has a lot of pride, right? And so yeah, I can't wait to see when he has to beg. I want to see him beg like badly. I want to see him weak. Honestly, we've seen everybody in this in their vulnerable state. Gao too, we've seen him in Heat, Hua Yong, and Shen Yo. They both had moments where they were like, not feeling well. I would say Shen Lang is the only one we've not seen like that, and so I need to see him like that for a second. He's the only one that's not been vulnerable yet. So I think that that's gonna come soon, hopefully, because I gotta see it. Like it can't keep going like this, right? But yeah, I think I will stop here on If You Desire because I could keep going. But let me stop here and go right into the second drama that I want to talk about, which is Khemjira. Like I said, it is a Thai horror BL drama, and honestly, I knew it was horror before I watched it. I did not know how much horror it was going to horror, and it was really horroring. Like I was freaked out 5 minutes in, like freaked out of my mind. But by the end of episode 1, I was stunned and I was like captivated. So I'm down. But before I start and start going on a rant about this, let me just give a quick synopsis of this. Khemjira is basically about this boy Kem. From what I read from the synopsis, Kem is a girl's name, and the reason why he has this name is because in his mother's side, they are cursed. Every boy in their family does not live past 20. This is just something that, comes with a curse, right? And so to protect Kem, his mom gave him a girl's name, right? And also in an attempt to protect him, right? She also tries other things. She takes him like to this shaman and everything and just tries to like prolong his life, right? Kem grows up, but naturally he's still haunted by a lot of these things, right? That want to take his life, right? And so his classmate Jed suggests that they go to the village where he's from and everything, and that's where he meets Pim. Pim is this shaman, right? And he's seemingly the one that's going to try and save Kem so that he doesn't die young, right? And it's between these two that, some love and all this kind of thing like sprouts, right? So you understand the story. It's really a love story between like a cursed boy and the shaman, right? Honestly, I didn't have any expectation about this going in. I will say that I know a lot of people were expecting this, and this is a drama that's been a long time coming. And honestly, I think that the first episode was solid, like genuinely solid. But it's one of those things where Thai BL gives me trauma because it can have like solid 5 episodes and then just go downhill. Like I don't know, and it's always the writing. It's never anything else. So I love it so far, but I want my breath that like it's gonna hold on the story, because story makes a issue for me, right? The story is really what ties things for me as opposed to like production and things like that. But yeah, just talk about some things that I liked in this episode. Like I said, from the very first like 5 minutes, we were introduced to a ghost, and honestly, I watched this in the night and I was freaked out. But honestly, it really drove home the point that Kem is cursed, right? Like Kem has ghosts following him around, right? And it's interesting because the first ghost we see, right, or even the second, they are like harmful ghosts. Like they seemingly want to harm Kem. But there also sometimes like we see a scene where Kem is able to save this boy from abuse because the ghost of that boy's mom was following Kem and trying to get him to like, look in the door and make sure the boy's okay and everything. And so that's how that boy got saved, right? So sometimes it seems like the ghosts are not always malicious, but we don't know like what makes a ghost malicious or not. there's a lot of mystery to this that I would say I don't have answers to, right? For example, there's a scene where it's mentioned that the karma or like the curse is from a specific person, like a specific ghost, as opposed to like the one that's currently haunting Kem, right? And so there was that scene that was like, okay, clearly there's a bigger mystery to why Kem is being haunted. It's not just like a small thing. I think it's bigger. Like there's a family curse, and it might be related to like who placed that curse, right, on his family, right? And so there's obviously grievances that needs to be worked out, and I think that's kind of what Pim is going to be helping to do. It's really sad. We see that the mom obviously does not make it to when Kem is an adult, right? So I think she dies a lot younger, and his dad goes to become a monk and maybe dedicate his life to like watching his mom's grave or something like that, right? And so he's clearly alone. But he obviously has a good friend, Jed, and that's the one that like tells him, okay, let's go to Ubon, and there's this person there that I want you to meet, and I think he can save you and everything. And so it's very interesting to watch that. I was just introduced to a lot of the characters, but I can tell that some characters are going to be important to this, right? For example, there's this character Chan that you can tell there's going to be more to him. And if I just go by how TBL do things, they do things in pairs, like they're always couples. I think that it's going to be Chan and Jet that are a couple in this, because it seems already that Chan likes Jet, or maybe he likes Kem, but I'm not sure yet. And so that'll be interesting to see. I also think it's interesting how some ghosts are good. Well, not good, but they are not malicious, right? So for example, you see those like two twin ghost kids, right, that are with Pim everywhere, and clearly they are part of Pim's like, posse, right? They are part of his like group of like good ghosts, right? And so there are ghosts like that clearly, right? There's also this ghost that was with Kem in the bus, right? As Kem is looking out the window, he like hovers over him and he's just looking at him, and it was like he was like really close to him, but he didn't do anything to Kem. So I'm like, is that ghost bad? Like, I'm so curious about like the different ghosts. It's really, really like confusing, but I can clearly see that most likely the ghost at the end, that girl, that lady is going to be like the main one. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like she's like the main villain in this, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting to see the different ones that exist. And honestly, this show so far is so well written. Everybody's acting is on point. Everybody's face, just visual card is on point. Like this is actually really, really good. Like I said, I don't have a single like a single negative thing to say about this, because they've done this well and the production value is just it's through the roof, and I'm loving it so far. So I am curious about how this will play out. I will say that I think that Thailand, when it comes to horror, they knock it out of the park. Like there is no better place to do it. I don't know why. They're able to like draw from a lot of things and like pull you into the story when it comes to horror. And so I'm very glad they are doing this, and I hope that I actually see more of it. There's not that many like horror BL. I think there's another one I recall, but I can't remember the name. But yeah, there's not that many, right? And it's actually a really, really good sub like genre to like explore, right? Because they already do horror really, really well. There's some just bomb ass Thai horror lacons, right? And so I am going to look forward to this. I think that it's going to be fantastic, and I just hope that the writing stays tight. And honestly, this might end up being one of my favorite dramas of this year. Although honestly, 2025, like I said, has been a great year for BL. Like it's just been tens after tens, like just been so many good dramas. Like I'm overwhelmed. Like I've been bombarded that I'm even scared a little bit that like 2026 is going to be like zero good BLs and everything good is this year. But honestly, 2025 might be like the golden age of BL in terms of just like the amount of BL. I think Mal Apple just came out with a new BL as well. I need to check that one out as well. Oh, you guys, so many BLs to watch. Like honestly, and I love it. I love it. Give me more. Give me more. I will find the time. But yeah, that's really all I have to talk about in this episode. I think that both Khemjira and ABO Desire are two dramas to watch. I think that they are very good so far, and they both bring different things, but honestly, very, very good. So, yeah, that's really all I have in this episode. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you guys again next week. Have a lovely one. Bye.